Granate ist raus, vor uns, gut!
Hi guys, Modest Pelican here, I hope you're all doing well. When I play games, I really like to know how the series has evolved. I've been in the gaming scene for so long now that I find I have played earlier titles, like Halo or Grand Theft Auto. I know the series back to front, I know the developers, I know what they've changed, I know the styles they've gone for. With Battlefield, I know nothing. My only experience in Battlefield before Battlefield 1 was Bad Company 2's campaign. I remember getting blown away by the destruction, but I really have no idea how Battlefield 1 stacks up to the other games in the series. So I thought I'd ask some people who have been in the scene for a long time, some real Battlefield veterans, what they thought of Battlefield 1 and how it stacks up to earlier titles in the series. The responses that came back were quite long, so I'm going to summarise each one and take key quotes from the suggestions and opinions people had. If you'd like to read the full comments, I'll link the Battlefield 1 discussion post in the comments below so you can read the full responses there or get involved in the discussion yourself. The first comment that came in was from FBMZ, who's been playing since the 1942 beta. He thinks that Battlefield 1 is a lot more fun than 3 and 4 and is enjoying it a lot more than that. He thinks that 4 was without a doubt the worst in the franchise and thinks that Battlefield 1 is the same as Battle Company 2 in terms of just pure fun and an enjoyable experience. So an overall enjoyment of the game is definitely there. He's then gone into a very detailed description in the forum post, which I'll let you read yourself, but if you want to get over there, he's given real technical reasons for all of these things. But he thinks the servers are currently just not in a good state. Matchmaking is terrible, and the actual server browser itself is really average. You know, you join games that seem like they have a spot for you, and you end up joining a queue. He also says there's issues with hacking due to a change in the detection software. And lastly, a point which I find really interesting is that he says back in 1942, movement was clean. Nowadays, there's too many animations. Now, what he means by this is every time you climb something or do anything, an animation triggers. This does lessen the skill gap. If you look at other games like Halo, where you're crouching and jumping with no animations, the better player does come out on top. So I really like that point, that now everything's an animation, so it does look cool, but it does detract a little bit from skill. So yeah, a really good comment there by FVMZ. I recommend you go and read his full comment there, because he's got really good technical understanding of the game and reasons why he has his opinions. The next comment coming in is from Quasquotsa, or KYUSSQOTSA. He's been playing the series since Codename Eagle, which was released back in 1999, so a very long time player. His all-time favourite was 1942, and that's where he reckons were the glory days and when all the best moments came together. Didn't enjoy 3 and 4 at all, thought they were absolute trash, but thinks Battlefield 1 is a step back into the right direction. That's really interesting for me to hear that I've just come in at Battlefield 1, but they're saying that, Battlefield 1 is really going back to the roots of Battlefield, so that's cool. I'm glad that DICE has chosen to go in this direction. This comment I really liked by Callahan44, who's been playing since Bad Company 2. He says there's no UAVs, stingers, active radars and all that sort of stuff. They focus on the important stuff, shooting and killing, and no minimap. I really like this comment, and I think it's the genius of picking the World War I setting. There's not an over amount of gadgets, and there's not red dots and UAVs and thermal scopes. It's just running around, finding cover and shooting people, because that stuff didn't exist in World War I, and I think it just makes the perfect game, really, the perfect setting for a game, at least. So I really agree with that comment. I really love that it is just running around, using the environment and shooting people. It's an awesome system, and I think they've done really well in picking that as the setting. Not all the comments that came in were really positive about Battlefield 1. KJ Screwies, who's been playing since the 1942 game, says the game lacks staying power and that games in this day and age either need a lot of content or a competitive scene. Well, I think we can all agree Battlefield 1 doesn't really have a competitive scene, especially relative to, other first-person shooters that are out at the moment. And it is missing content. There's only a handful of guns that are unlocked very fast. And I think they need to add more rewards in for playing the game. It's going to be hard now because the game's already launched to add stuff like that in, but it has to happen, and I think there's different avenues that they can go down, and there's videos out on this sort of stuff already. It's all over the forum posts. He says the game is too forgiving in regards to vehicles with self-repair. I've done a video on this already. I think the self-repair maybe is okay. I think KJ Screws wants people to get back out and land planes to repair and stuff like that. But definitely the insta-repair has to go. That's just ridiculous. I don't see why used to be able to instantly revive yourself halfway. Like, I think it's just silly. He says the assault class is overpowered relative to medics and support. I guess that's sort of a subjective opinion there. I don't really find the assault class that powerful. In fact, I find it a little bit limiting because you can't kill at ranges. So I often use the medic class as an assault class because I can pick up my teammates, heal myself, heal my teammate, and 3-shot people from almost any range. So I guess I prefer the medic class, but I guess it's just whatever way you play the game. And he also says the sniper is too easy compared to older titles. What I kind of get from this comment is that for an older Battlefield player, when the games used to focus more on realism, it could be frustrating playing the game now because I think that it's tending to lead towards more of a casual player basis. So I completely get your comments there, Screwies. Thanks for your comment. Dust Reboot wrote in saying the game's been dumbed down and simplified to death since Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2. I noticed this opinion is quite common among some of the really old players who miss some of the features in older games. He wrote a list of things that he'd like to see be brought back into the game. I picked out my favourite, which was to only spawn on the squad leader, which encourages squad gameplay and gives the squad leader a real purpose. I think that'd be really cool. As the squad leader, you know you'd have to stay alive and change your game style a lot. You couldn't just run in because otherwise your members would have to spawn back on a flag. So I really like that idea. I think that would encourage team play and it would add another layer to the game. The last comment I'm going to talk about is Zen_NMe. He's been playing since 1942. He says there's a good atmosphere, the game's very cinematic, however lacks some fundamental elements such as soldier customization and loadouts. The game's at its best with a squad. When you pick a role in that squad and own it, the game needs work but overall is very fun. I just completely agree with 100% of what he said in this comment, and that's why I've said it last. My opinion on the game is that they've just done an awesome job. Obviously, I'm not in a position to compare it to older titles, so it's been really interesting to hear what you guys have said. My overall feelings that some of the older players are feeling as if the game's just been dumbed down a little bit, overly simplified so that a newer player can come in, pick it up and have a really good shot at doing well. I feel as if this could be easily combated if DICE did the hardcore mode right. I know they're having a few teething problems at the moment. There's a lot of issues around team killing and etc. I won't go into it now, but if they could do the hardcore mode right, take out vehicle self-repairs and make sure you have to get out and use a wrench, to name one example, and just create an older style Battlefield within hardcore that competitive players and players who want to experience what the games were like previously could go to, they'd be able to satisfy the needs of both, target audiences, both the new players, the new real casual gamers, and the ones who want to get in there and play some real gritty World War I style shooting. After reading all the comments though, the overwhelming feeling is people are really enjoying this game. There are issues people are having around customization or lack of in certain game modes, browsing servers and lack of options that are frustrating, but the actual gameplay is really enjoyable. I think after a few more patches have come out and the gameplay becomes more balanced and more features are released, this could be really a stellar game. But as far as I'm concerned, when I'm running around the map, I have moments that I never have in other games. After reading through all the comments of players who have been in the series for a long time, it sounds like these cinematic, awesome moments of destroying behemoths, hitting people with sniper rifles, and the overall atmosphere of the game has been missing in some of the previous titles, such as Battlefield 3 and 4. So it's good that Battlefield 1 is bringing back that Bad Company 2, Battlefield 2 feel that people are talking about, and I think that's why I'm enjoying the game so much. Anyway guys, if you liked the video, please remember to like, comment and subscribe. It means a lot as I'm a really new channel, so that'd be awesome. It was really cool reading the opinions of all these people who have been on the Battlefield scene a lot longer than I have. It seems like the Battlefield 1's done relatively well and the overall feeling is good, so I look forward to playing a lot more Battlefield 1. Add my gamer tag, which is just my YouTube channel name, Modest Pelican, if you want to play sometime. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon.